Hiya, friends. Welcome to this Han rant. Let's see. We're gonna see. Maybe one day the captions will catch on. Okay, the benefit of having conversations with people that we don't agree with. Here we go. So, yesterday I was at the Duncan Garage, and if you're familiar with this area, it's like the one of the oldest buildings that is left in Duncan, and it used to be an automotive massage garage, and now it is a cafe, and there's some businesses upstairs. And so I go to Dunkin' Garage yesterday and I sit down and I'm waiting for my burrito. And I sit down beside a witch doctor. And this witch doctor is like, "Hey, I'm a witch doctor. And you seem like a really good person." Just based on the fact that I was wearing a Bob Ross shirt. That's what actually grabbed his attention at the very beginning. And I was like, "Oh, thanks very much." And I was like, "Can I sit down and wait for my burrito beside you?" And he's like, "Yeah, for sure." And then he proceeds to tell me a bunch of shit about a bunch of different things. And like a lot of it was to do with the indigenous in this area and how we have colonized it to the point where the land is stripped and we have forgotten about how important our connection with nature is and like all of this stuff, which I just love. I just soak it all in. But there was definitely things that he and I were discussing that I wasn't totally in agreement with. And I didn't say that. I didn't voice my dislike or my disagreement. I just listened. And I listened with a lens of curiosity because that's just kind of how I fucking roll. And I think it's really important that we have those conversations and we are able to sit down with people that we don't necessarily agree with in order to learn anything. Because if we aren't learning, then we're not growing and we're not changing and we're not evolving. And that is definitely one of the reasons that we're here on this planet, is to learn and to grow. And having those difficult conversations, if you will, are necessary. They're necessary. So maybe today, if you have the opportunity to like speak to somebody that you don't necessarily agree with their ideas or their frame of mind or whatever, and we can come at it from like a curiosity standpoint instead of like an ego judgmental, like I'm right, you're wrong kind of standpoint, I guarantee that we will learn something if we just try that. So that's going to be my goal today. I'm going to try and find somebody that has a different view on something. And then just ask questions and get curious. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And until next time, be good.